Alright, tubes. I think where I left you off at is we made this template here. I don't know if you can see it. Sometimes the reflections and the shadows and stuff mess with the focus on the camera. And that's what it looks like it might be doing here. But anyway, what we're going to do today, here maybe I don't know if there's really no way. Yeah, maybe just a little better. Yeah, what we're going to do is transfer this template I made to a piece of sheet metal. It's a piece of 22 gauge. I think the original right here is it's a little thinner. You know, it's, I'd say 24, 25 gauge. I had my little gauge meter there, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I had plenty of others. See, I got a big hunk of sheet metal, a couple pieces there, you know, but they're a little thicker. They're 16 gauge, you know. Would have worked, looked all right, but you know, maybe a little tough to work with. Plus, I didn't feel like moving all that shit there to lathe and a welder and a hit and miss engines and stuff. So for $5, I just bought this at Lowe's. You know, Lowe's has a good selection of steel, but it's not the best prices. But anyway, we might be multitasking today. Also, while I'm doing that, I might start doing a little body work on the machine here. Like I got to fill in these gaps on the bottom, and then start the body work on the sides here, and then around the back. By starting, you know, I mean, I got to prep the blocks, grind them up, and you know, throw some epoxy on there. That way it could harden up overnight. So I'll probably be taking the crank out, the cam out, and the flywheel off and stuff like that. I ordered a new flywheel, brand new one that's not bent. We showed you in the last video that one there was a little cattywampus. So you got an identical one, and it's also going to have a V. This here has I don't even know what the hell they call that, but it's for like a flat belt. The one I got is for a V. So alright, let's take this on there and lay it out and see what it looks like, and then we'll cut it up. So like I say, this video may bounce around a little bit from here to there, but I don't know what it's going to turn out like. So let's get started on something. Alright, I got it laid out on a piece of sheet metal here, and I wanted to put it back on the machine here, my template, one more time to see if there were any last minute modifications I could make to make it fit a little better. You see what it does is it sits on these tabs. I even bolted it down, and then the end of it actually goes under the end of the last fin, and these other ones sit like in between, you know, at the bottom of the fins. So I made a little modification. I added about another 1/16 to my bolt holes there. I could always shave them back, cut them back, and make them fit better, but that might help it fit. But let me show you what I set up here. I don't have a bandsaw, you know, which would be ideal for this, but we set up the little jigsaw here. I could cut it with sheet metal shears and everything, but sheet metal shears bend and twist, and you know, give you a pretty rough finish. I think the jigsaw will work better. So let me set you up on the tripod here, and we'll see what it does. Alright, let's give this a try. Alright, this is it's a little dangerous, so don't you kiddies be trying this at home. I'm a trained professional, and I even got my gloves on because you're going to be right up close to the saw and all kinds of sharp implements here. I usually don't wear leather gloves, but alright, let's try it. wanted to stay to the inside of that line, which is good. Where you at? I'm holding it over here. So it made a nice clean cut, no bends or nothing. It is going to take a little doing. I'm going to have to tighten my saw up here. I did see it move a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so this is going to be a long, tedious procedure. I'll do some of it and then turn this back on. I don't want to put you through that agony. Alright, that wasn't working out too well, so I had to do what I didn't want to do and just hack it up with a pair of tin snips. I got the excess off, so now I'll just, with a die grinder, I'll cut it to the shape I want, or the, you know, a sanding disc or something like that. Plus, Road Queen got me this Dremel 3000 for Christmas. I'll try that out. My other Dremel took a shit, so came just in time. Let me play with it. You know, a piece like this may take a small shop like mine. You know, maybe 8 hours to do to get it right. But that's what we want to do. We want to get it right. All right. Let me play with it a little bit. All right. We'll cut that all out. I don't know how it looks on camera. It might look a little crude, but actually, yeah, it looks pretty good up close. And it really didn't bend the metal up bad at all. It turns out the best tool for the job was the Dremel, the cut-off Dremel, and the right angle grinder, and then some hand files. Okay, let me put some holes in this, and hope I got carbide bits, and I hope they're not too sharp for this. It might tear that to pieces, but let's see. All right, tubes. Here's what we got. Seems like I made a little miscalculation, so I had to do some modifications here. I actually wanted this piece to go under the head a little bit, but I would have had to make these tabs longer, and I didn't. But I like where the tabs are sitting because of where the metal's at. So what I had to do, I don't know if you could tell you see a little tail on here? Well, these tails are a lot shorter because I had to cut it. I cut off about 3/16 of an inch. So I could leave it like that and trim it up and make it look okay, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rebend this and maybe notch it down a little bit so it'll be lower and it'll stick in a little further. It's going to be a little more work, but I think it might look better. So I'm going to try that before I go any further. But so far I'm liking the way it looks. Alright, there we go. I finished it up there. Covered up all these little holes in here. Looks good. And the tabs, they look good. That's just for cooling. That's a cooling shroud. And I wrapped it around here like it would have been from the factory, but more than likely we're probably going to cut it off right about here. Because the way we're cooling from both sides. We're going to be cooling it from this side, so that's going to be in the way to get to all the fins. And then on this side, we'll probably cut it off right about here, because we're also going to have cooling coming in from this side. So there you go. All right. I worked on that. I didn't waste my time doing any body work on the rest of it here, but I'm going to do that now. I'm going to grind it up and clean it up. So I want to try to get some epoxy on there so it can dry overnight. Mike is going to be here tomorrow, and I don't know what we'll be working on, but I would like to try to get a little bit of epoxy on there. Alright, I'm liking it. How about you? Alright, I started grinding some of this. Not grinding, it's what do you call this? A sander, right angle. I guess you can call it grinding. 36 grit on there. Plus, with the 4.5 inch grinding, you know, I had to clean up some of the factory casting. You know, I figured I might as well clean it up, make it look good. You know, like around here and stuff. Down here, you know, they had big ridges because these things weren't made to be show engines. So, all right, so far I got I cleaned up on this side here. I still got to clean the other two. All right. We got it cleaned up pretty good. I'm happy. Ground down some of the high spots, and some of the holes, you know, like where nooks and crannies were, like right here. I got with this pointed thing, and I got even down here. but I got about 99.99% of it, you know, which is good enough. I'm not going to do too much of it. I'm going to just do one side. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with something like this, because then you get disgusted in it, you know. I'm just going to clean up one side. I'm going to do this side and the bottom, and then stop here at the cylinder heads, or the bottom of the cylinders, I should say. Let me blow this off and then degrease it with some lacquer thinner. Alright, we got that one side done. That's the first coat. Maybe all we need, but we'll see. We'll see when we sand it down. Alright, see you in the next video. Yeah, I did want to mention something. A lot of guys probably wondering why I just don't use body filler on this, body putty. Body putty would work, but it just expands and contracts too much. You know, it's a softer compound, so this stuff seems to hold up pretty good to heat. It's a little tougher to work with, you know. I mean, it's not body putty or anything. It's just it's similar, but it's a lot tougher to work with. But that's why I don't use body putty. Alrighty.